Hi everyone, Aiden here with etrailer.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Hollywood Racks Destination 4-bike rack here on our 2019 GMC Acadia. Now, like I mentioned, this is a 4-bike rack, and it's a platform style rack, holding the bike in these trays with these wheel straps at the bottom, and primarily with this cradle up here on the frame. The cradle is going to slide up and down independently on these masts, so we're not going to have to worry about any sort of conflicts between each cradle, and they'll rotate 360 degrees to accommodate for those different frames. So this is going to be good for your kids' bikes because of the way the U-shaped design is, or alternative frame bikes, and it does have a 35-pound weight capacity per bike, so if you need something more heavy-duty, maybe check out the Destination e-bike rack. But otherwise, it's going to be a really solid bike rack. You can see it does hold the bike quite well here, very little movement. Now, it doesn't tilt away with the bikes loaded, so that is something to keep in mind. If you want that hatch access, you will need to pick something up, a different bike rack that has that option. Now, to get it unloaded is pretty simple. We can just start with undoing the wheel straps here, pushing in that gray button, and releasing those ratcheting straps. We do this first because the clamp is what is actually holding the bike upright over here. So we can kind of keep one of those hands on the bike here while we do this. And then carefully pivot that out of the way. And then we can just kind of walk it backwards here. Careful not to make contact with the vehicle. Overall, the process of loading and unloading is pretty straightforward and simple. That center mast can be a bit of an obstacle sometimes, but luckily it doesn't stick up too tall. Now, I always like to replace these straps before I move on, just so they're not freely moving whenever I'm driving. And we can fold down the center mast here with this hand knob on the side, removing this plate, and then we can just fold this down. Now, one trick I like to use is actually use this clamp here. I'm going to rotate it around and just wrap it around the frame right there just to hold the whole mast in place. Now, with it like this, let's get some measurements. We're going to start with our ground clearance. Now, at the back end here with the lowest point, here on the end, we have 23 inches of ground clearance. That's pretty good. Overall, I don't think you'll have any issues bottoming out. Just watch out for those steep driveways. This does stick out quite a bit. Speaking of how much it does stick out, let's get that measurement now. It is going to be adding 39 inches to the back of our Arcadia, so that is a considerable amount. Keep that in mind with any sort of tight parking spots or pulling in your garage. It's a lot of length added. But when the bikes are unloaded, we do have the ability to fold it upright. We can do that by pulling this safety pin on the other side, this clip, sorry, and unthreading this pin. Folding the whole rack upright, and then realigning that pin with the holes, threading it back through, and then we can replace that clip on the other side. Now, I like that this pin threads in personally because I think it's a little bit easier to line sometimes, but that also acts as like an anti-rattle, and it keeps that pivot point really strong. Now, from here, we can see how much it's adding. We're going to cut that distance all the way down to only 13 inches added to the back of the vehicle, which is a considerably smaller amount. Still keep in mind that it's back there, but that is going to be a lot less added, and it's just ready to go for when you go on your next biking trip. It doesn't sit too close to the vehicle here. Our closest point is about 3 inches, so that's plenty of space. I'm not worried about any vehicle contact here. And then down at the bottom, we can see it's fitting in a 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube and comes with a locking anti-rattle bolt, keeping the rack locked to your vehicle and secure. Overall, I think the Destination 4-bike rack is a great option. If you're looking for an affordable entry-level platform style, this is one of my favorite picks. I might miss out on that tilting feature, but there are other options out there, or you can look into a hanging style rack. But otherwise, it's going to be a great option for your Acadia. Thanks for watching.
Now we're going to go ahead and take it on our test course. First, we'll start with the slaloms. This is going to show the side-to-side action. It's kind of going to mimic the movements that you'll see whenever you're driving down the road normally. Now we'll have the alternating speed bumps. This is going to be more so like the uneven roads and some of that uneven terrain you might be traveling on, and see how it holds up.